Hello again, brothers and sisters in Christ. Pastor Mike here. Welcome to our midweek meditation as we move toward the fourth Sunday of Easter. Hopefully, you all have had a good May so far. We're still early in, but we're glad that it's May. I know in my house we got a couple birthdays, but it's also just a plain busy month, which is maybe my first thought for this midweek meditation. School is wrapping up, sports are starting up. Usually at this point in time, I start wrapping up confirmation, but I'm a little bit behind, so we got to get these kids caught up. But May often, in my opinion, is the hardest month as a pastor. People might give me a weird look. They're like, what are you talking about? Wouldn't like April with Easter or December with Christmas or some of these things or starting up school? No, honestly, it's this month of transitions as kids are graduating, kids are wrapping up school, sports are starting. People are starting to really be like, I need to get out of here, man. I need to get on a vacation or something. That things get a little bit hectic. Things get a little bit wild. Things can get a little bit uncertain. I know as a pastor, planning anything in May can be kind of difficult. So even as we go through May, brothers and sisters, please remember, take care of your soul in the process. A lot is going on, and the busyness can call to us. It can really, really call to us and really want it to be our identity. But I don't think we need to be busy. Now, it's funny because it's even talk about busy. What do I mean by busy? Sometimes I think we do for the sake of doing, right? There are things that I think are important that need to get done. You need to make sure that people are fed. You need to make sure your laundry's done. You got to have clean clothes. But a lot of people, and again, I'm not meant to this to be judgy, please don't hear it as that, can fall into this sense of I am ethically good and awesome because I have no free time. It's a weird reality I've discovered in America. The sense of if I'm always doing something, I am valuable, I am good, I am important, I am holy. That I think is what I like to call the cult of busyness. That should not be our identity. It is interesting because we often then fall into the fact that it all depends on us, that we have to do. We have to handle these things. But it's not. It's not. Let's take this interesting transition from the third Sunday of Easter to the fourth, and hopefully that'll help. Third Sunday of Easter, we get the important gospel text of Jesus talking to Pete and again grounding him in what his role is. Over and over again, he's like, tend the sheep, feed the sheep, look after the sheep, look after these things. That in many ways is understood to be the cornerstone of what the pastoral ministry is supposed to be. Tend the flock, look after the herd. Sometimes it's sheep, sometimes it feels like cats. But no matter who we are, pastor or other people, we think we could fall into that commissioning, that call, that ministry is solely dependent upon us. But it's not. God is not inactive. And we, in our service to Christ, are an extension of Christ's mission. Christ just doesn't hand us the mission. He is always working. I don't believe in an absent God. It is Christ's mission. He continues to work on it, and he calls us into it, to work with him, to be instruments of that. And the instruments are methods, not the finality, not the fullness of it. Important and useful, but not everything depends on us. Because especially as we look at the fourth Sunday of Easter and what Christ tells us in the gospel there, that should call us to pause and think. It is Good Shepherd Sunday. It is the Sunday where we really kind of start moving past the resurrection appearances into Christ, taking teachings of Christ and looking at what it means for the resurrection. And there's a large section in John of I am statements, and one of the important ones is I am the Good Shepherd. He is the shepherd. He is the greatest of shepherds. He talks about how others will not defend, that he lays down his life. We know those passages. And in that, it then calls us and grounds us that he is the ultimate shepherd, and he will always tend us. And that any of the work and tending we do is for the good shepherd, for the well-being of the flock. How the 99 should be there to welcome the one back, not judge the one, not get upset that the shepherd has gone to rescue the one, that we can see his care, and that in moments of struggle and worry, that we know that shepherd is always looking out for us. And that when he goes get the one, it's not that he's abandoning us, it's that he's making sure there is a whole community. Over and over again, there's a lot. It's a huge section. We're going to get an important one this Sunday. But it's to call us and to ground us and guide us into the truth that we can trust Christ. And that trust can call us not to try to, out of worry or panic or overfunctioning, overreach and assume that the things are dependent upon us. We need to trust that God will handle the important things. And we can rest. Our rest doesn't mean that we become lazy or not do anything, but that we can be free to know what our true calls are, our prime responsibilities, our major concerns are, and handle those well, and trust that God will handle his piece, and that the people God asked to handle their piece will handle theirs. Not that they can't ask for help, not that we can't support them, but that we can trust them. It's like a football team, or a soccer team, or a hockey team, or any sport where it's not just about, individuals. I mean, cross country is in some ways different from football, right? Because cross country has a team, but you perform by yourself for the common good. Cool. But oftentimes, like with football or hockey, those sorts of things, people need to coordinate, and there's a lot of trust. You can't just, pretend you're Michael Jordan all the time. The best basketball teams, they pass. They trust that the person will be there knowing where they need to be, and they'll take the shot when they need to be. That it's not about them to make the basket, but it's about them to help make the play for the team. And that, I think, is some of the great understandings that we can get from the Good Shepherd. That we as a church, universal, local, groups, families, communities, service organizations, God calls us to do this mission, to work in synergy with each other, trusting him to call the plays, to guide us in those paths, and to handle our responsibilities. Wow, I am a little bit everywhere today, but I really, really appreciate and have thought a lot about that with the Good Shepherd. That as he herds us, he coordinates us, he guides us to be the best flock that we can be, as individuals, as a group, and so on. I don't think I'm going to go that route for Sunday, but it's something I think churches really need to be mindful of or aware of. And that I trust numerous people, council members, Altar Guild, Brenda, Sunday School, all these pieces. They know what they're doing. They're going to handle their stuff. I love it when they keep me clued in. I like when they include me. But I trust that they will handle it. They will use their God-given gifts to get where they need to be. Ufta. I think I've fallen into a sermon. Above all, brothers and sisters in Christ, hopefully this May does not overcome you with busyness, and that when the Good Shepherd calls you to rest by the waters and to feed you on good things, you good listen to him. All right. Blessings, brothers and sisters. Talk to you soon. Bye now.